What is going on, guys? Crucible here, and I'm going to be doing a breakdown of the brand new Zenkai Awakened LF Frieza and Kakarot Goku. These are both Zenkais that I'm actually very excited about, which is really odd for me to say just due to the fact that I'm not the biggest fan of Zenkais in general. But we're still going to break them down, and we're going to talk about what these guys can do and where I think that they stand in terms of their respective teams. If this is the kind of content you would like to see more of for Dragon Ball Legends, let me know down in the comments below. Like and subscribe for more, and let's dive into it. So, LF Frieza. Oh man, this is one that a lot of people have been asking about for a while. They've kind of teased that he was going to get one, and just never really did for whatever reason. So, let's see. Let's do 14 stars, 5,000. So, we're going off before his Zenkai. 14 stars before his Zenkai. So, he's actually looking pretty decent in terms of his stats at 14 stars. So, let's see. Strike attack is 250, which is all right. Defenses are mid 180s, which is actually pretty good. And then his blast attack is 270 at 14 stars. After the Zenkai, all right, decent buff to his strike attack. Strike attack goes up about 15,000, so he's at 265 strike, and then 280 blast. Defenses relatively stay the same. Let's look at him at 7 stars, just so everyone can get an idea of where he kind of sits. So it's 7 stars before Zenkai. He's at 221 strike, 238 blast, and then mid 160s defenses. And then after, 233 strike, 247 blast attack. I'm not gonna say it's terrible, because I mean that's still a good, increase to his physical attack stats. I just kind of wish they did more with his defenses. It didn't even need to be much, just like an extra 5,000. Would have been nice to see. But yeah, this guy, stat-wise, this guy really thrives off of being max stars. Like, he looks very impressive stat-wise at 14, so keep that in mind going forward. But okay, so main ability used to be draw an ultimates card, then key restore by 50, and 30% to ultimate damage inflicted for 10 counts once 50 counts elapsed. And then with the Zenkai, still 50, still draws the ultimate arts card. And now it's just 30% of damage inflicted once 50 counts elapse. So they removed the 10 timer counts, and then they just made it a permanent buff instead, or a permanent buff to ultimate damage instead of. I mean, that's fine. That's still better than having it for 10 counts, but this doesn't mean anything, considering if you miss your ultimate attack, like this does nothing. It doesn't change anything. Applies buff effects, nullifies enemy special actions that activate when changing cover to self for 10 timer counts. Oh, so you pop. Okay, so he cancels out cover change skills. Interesting. Okay, that's actually not a bad change to his main ability. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, main ability's all right. It's not great, but we'll see what the rest of his kit does here before we cast judgment. So, all right, so. Work hard, okay. Work hard, okay. It used to be until this character is defeated, you have 25% to damage inflicted, 50% to key recovery, and then when this character is switched to standby, you apply the following effects to self. If a Frieza Force or Lineage of Evil other than this character is a battle member, you gain 10% health and 30 key, and then reduce damage by 35. After the Zenkai, it is now 30% to damage inflicted, as opposed to 25, and they kept the 50% key recovery. 10% and 30 is still the same there, and that's still there, but it's now non-cancelable. You cannot cancel it, which is good. That's actually a really decent change. Him getting just permanent 35% damage reduction. That's very nice to see. I like that. And then the extra 5% here, while it doesn't really add up to much, is still welcome. Still very nice to see. Fearsome Emperor applies the following effects to all enemies when this character enters the battlefield. Inflict attribute downgrade 20% to damage received for 15, and then plus 5 to strike and blast arts cost for 10. Knocks back enemy on strike attacks, and then it's comboable with all that. With the Zenkai, still 20%, still 5%. I would have liked to see this go up to maybe 10% or plus 10. They increased the timer on it? Is that what changed? Yeah, they increased the timer on it. Yeah, they didn't really do much with this except add 5 seconds to the count. I mean, 5 seconds is still something, but from what I think a lot of people have kind of like assumed, it's plus 5 doesn't really affect anything, because when you have a bunch of units that offer, you know, key recovery just naturally, just because it's in their kits and they have it, a lot of units have been getting key recovery buffs, and when you're recovering key at a fast enough rate, this plus 5 to strike and blast arts cost doesn't really do much of anything. Because you look at units like Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta, right? Every time that his key goes down below 35, like, he gains 20 key back. Or what was it, 25 key? Yeah, he gains like 20 or 25 key back every time he uses a card that takes him below 35, and he gets buffs for it. So for something like this, like, yeah, I mean, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt the longer it goes on. But for units like Evolution Vegeta, like, this isn't gonna matter a whole lot. So I wish they did something more with this, but it is what it is. Let's see what his Zenkai abilities are. So Zenkai abilities applies the following effects to self when one allied tag Frieza Force and Lineage of Evil is defeated. So is this only once, or does it activate twice? 20% of damage inflicted, nullifies the attribute downgrade for 30 counts, and then -2 to blast arts cost. If this works how I think it's intended to be, which is when, and he's meant to be a last man standing unit, this is pretty good. Because that would be 40%, and then he would get up to 60 counts to nullify downgrades, and then it'd be -4. And they're non-cancelable either, so that would be nice if that's the case. The way this is worded, though, makes it almost seem like only if one of them. I'm not sure. We'll have to take this into practice, I guess. And so that's at Zenkai 3. And then at Zenkai 6, Euphoric Destruction applies the following effects when this character enters the battlefield. Plus 20% to own blast damage inflicted. Increases own card draw speed by 1 for 10 counts. Cancels enemy buff effects twice. These are good buffs. Ten counts doesn't really. If this activates every time he enters the battlefield. So I guess this is actually fine. Yeah, this is pretty much fine. He gets him a little bit of extra buffer. He gets the card draw speed that he actually really needed, and then canceling enemy buff effects twice is actually pretty good too. So, all right, well, let's take a look. So, Strike and Blast don't change in any way. Death Beam before Zenkai was major pierce damage, draws 1 new card upon activation, and restore ki by 15 on hit. It's still major. That's not good. They didn't do anything with this, actually. Why? Like, I understand if you kept this and didn't change anything with this, but I feel like this should have been changed. Major special attacks don't really do as much damage as you would like them to. And the fact that LOE doesn't really have any, like, the fact that LOE needs help and they're not doing anything to adjust. Like, the thing is unless there's a new LOE unit coming out that's going to really, like, hit the LOE team home, like, I feel like they're holding back for no reason. Like, I don't know why. LOE needs the help, but they should have changed that. I don't know. Telekinesis beforehand immobilizes enemy, 20% of damage received for 15 counts, and the shorten ally sub count for 3. And they did nothing with that either, which they didn't really need to do anything with this. This was actually a pretty decent green card, so that's fine. His ultimate looks like it changed quite a bit. So before it was massive explode damage, 70% to ultimate damage inflicted for 3 counts. Gain attribute upgrade, 100% to enemy sustained damage cut effects for 3 counts. 30% to damage inflicted against Saiyan characters for 3 counts. So this changed to that stayed the same. This stayed the same. This stayed the same. And now he nullifies endurance. That's an alright change. That's not too bad. This Frieza, I feel like he got a buff, and it's a decent buff for him, and it's enough to, you know, put LOE into a little bit of a better spot, but I really wish that there were a couple things that they did differently with this unit. He's not hitting, as a support unit, he's not really doing too much to support. Yeah, because he's a support type, and he's not really changing too much outside of the cover change effect and buffing himself when he's the last man standing. And yeah, it's buffing himself. It's not buffing the team. It's not helping the team in any way. I would have liked to see something more with, you know, actual, like, support effects, because that would help him. That would help the longevity of that character, you know? And then purple and Frieza Force. So Pool will at least get a buff, at least. A Pool will get a pretty decent sized buff, if you ask me. That's pretty neat. Yeah, I mean, this Frieza's alright. I'm gonna have to test him in practice and see how he is, but yeah, I'm not too impressed by... I'm not 100% impressed. Like, I am maybe 80% happy with what this guy does. I don't know. We'll have to see. Alright, Kakarot Goku. Kakarot Goku. So, stat-wise, before Zenkai. Kakarot, before Zenkai. I've seen this ad. Not interested in the ad. Okay, what? Alright, so before the Zenkai, at 14 stars, everyone can get this guy to 14 stars, so I'm not going to adjust his star count in any way. He gets 266 strike attack, 251 blast attack, and then mid 180 defenses, which isn't too bad. On the Zenkai, yeah, he doesn't get much of a stat buff. Maybe like 1,000 each stat. So, it's alright. It didn't need to really change. Alright, before Zenkai, Furious Power restored zone health by ki, restores health by 15% and ki by 50, 40% of damage inflicted for 30 timer counts, minus 10 to own strike and blast arts costs for 30 counts. On Zenkai, he does all of that, and then he increases his own card draw speed by 1 for 15. That's not bad. The next one is Endless Adventure. 20% of damage inflicted every time one of the following conditions is met in battle. When 30 timer counts have elapsed from the battle start, he gains 20. When you evade 2 enemy attacks with a vanishing step, that's another 20. And then when you land 5 hits with Strike or Blast Arts card, alright, so he can get up to 60% here. Does that change in any way? This does not change in any way. That stayed the same. And then Saiyan Raised on Earth applies the following effects to self per tag Sun Family and Super Warrior battle member other than this character in your party. 25% to strike damage inflicted and 25% to key recovery. That stayed the same. So at Zenkai 3, applies the following effects to allies depending on their tags and episodes when this character is switched to standby. This is unique. I don't think there's any other character that does this. So Sun Family, when he switched to standby, is plus 10% to critical rate for 15 timer counts. Super Warriors gain a buff. That's 35% of damage inflicted for 15 counts. That's actually pretty good. All things considered. That's actually pretty good. And then 35% to strike damage inflicted for 15 timer counts for Saiyan Saga. Honestly, I'm actually excited about this. The Super Warrior tag getting a buff. Even more of a buff than what they got before. Well, I guess this guy got a buff for that. But this guy's actually buffing Super Warriors. So, this is actually really cool. I like this. More Super Warrior support, please. That's a very cool Zenkai 3 ability. I like this. Because that way this kind of makes it so that you can put this guy on any team and run him with any units on those teams. Really neat. Highly skilled. Unlocks at Zenkai 6. 35% to blast damage inflicted when battle starts. And then the following effects occur every time this character defeats an enemy. 15% to damage inflicted. 10% to damage inflicted by allies other than this character. So the way that this character is you kind of want to use this character is you kind of want to like switch in and out. So that way these characters get, the other characters on the team get buffs. But then you kind of want to switch back into this guy to finish the job so this guy can get more buffs stacked on top of him. Is what I'm kind of seeing here. Compared to before, where he just kind of got, damage increase. So, yeah, this is pretty cool. This is a pretty cool Zenkai for this guy. Alright, so Kamehameha deals major impact damage. If enemy is inflicted with feint. That's right, because his green card has the ability to make him hit feint. 150% of special move damage inflicted for 3 counts upon activation. That is switched to 160. So not much of a buff, but a decent one. And then green card is draw special move arts card next. Does it twice. 10% to own special move costs. Does it twice. 30% chance for next strike or blast card to hit to inflict feint. And that is switched to restores own key by 30. That's actually good. That's actually pretty good. It was really weird with the animation that this green card does that it didn't have key recovery. So that's actually all this really needed, in all honesty. And then Zenkai ability is Red and Saiyan. But he doesn't buff them up a crazy amount. He buffs them up by 25% as opposed to normally it's like 35-40. That's not bad. And then this guy just buffs Goku's. So, yeah. I like this guy Zenkai a lot more. He didn't really need a whole lot going for him. He had a lot of neat stuff that it was already kind of doing. The fact that he's buffing other tags with his Zenkai ability is actually really neat. I would like to see more characters kind of do that, especially like these event characters that you know, you can't really. This guy was really cool, but he was very limited in where you could put him because you kind of only put him with a Goku team. So, very, very cool. I like that. Events. So you got this event going on. This event's actually pretty easy. It's pretty simple. Basically, every single stage is just Goku fighting enemies through the ages. Just complete them. You'll complete them in 140 counts. Like, it's not... the challenges are not all that hard to hit. You'll get enough Z power to get them up to 7 stars if you needed to. Probably more than that, actually. But yeah, very simple event, very easy. I was able to get through that pretty quickly. So, Battle Gauntlet, new one came out with Bardock. So I'm wondering if next week we may potentially see some sort of chilled Bardock, some sort of Bardock theme event. It would be really cool if we got like an LF Super Saiyan Bardock, one that transformed. That would actually be really cool, and I'd go all in on that banner. But yeah, Chrono Crystal captures coming soon, probably this weekend. I think it's this weekend. On the 5th, or that starts on the 13th. So yeah, on the 13th, which is the end of this week, I believe, or the beginning of next week, Chrono Crystal Capture will be back. So keep that in mind. And that's really all that's going on for events right now. New Ultimate equipment pickup. We'll go over the equipment in a second. Legends Ultimate pickup banner is back. I wouldn't recommend summoning on this banner. Even if you need these guys, I wouldn't recommend it. Just because usually these banners are not designed to be good. So, I mean, you got Kid Buu, you got LF Broly, you got First Form Frieza. You know, like this banner is not great, in my opinion, because every single sparking on here is technically featured. They are all at 0.5% drop rate, which means out of all the LFs that you want to pull, you're gonna pull any of these guys. It's not. I would not recommend summoning on this banner. Just save your Chrono Crystals, because we should be getting an LF next week. So just save your crystals. Don't bother. Missions. You'll get 700. You'll get 700 Chrono Crystals by doing the missions for Battle Gauntlet. That's really all that's kind of going on. You obviously got, this Goku event. You'll get plenty of Z power and Awakening Z power to get him up to Z7, 14 stars. So don't need to worry about that. And then last but not least, we got this brand new unique equipment. No way you've lived long enough. It's Bardock before Frieza took his ass out. Special move damage up to 10%, base critical up to 10%. Base strike attack can go up to 25%, and base blast attack can go up to 35%. This is actually really good. This is actually a pretty good unique equip. And it goes for anime original sagas. So Bardock characters can use this. I'm pretty sure LF Frieza might be able to use this. Like, what all? Yeah, all these characters can use this. So Bardock can use it. Super Kakarot and Goku can use it. LF Frieza can use it. You're saying Bardock is as if he needed more buffs. He can use this. Yeah, Titan's Yamcha, chilled. This is a very good equip, and I think everyone should try and farm this if possible. Try and get a red slot, if not a gold slot, and definitely go for these peak damages here. It's just, this really, really makes me think. This really, really makes me think that we are getting some sort of Bardock themed LF next week. And if not next week, maybe shortly down the road. But it's really weird that this is going for the new for LF Frieza, but it's going to be used with Bardock characters. Like, I feel like there's something coming next week. So anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching and showing support. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think of everything that you saw here today. I think we'll do a stream this week. We'll test out LF Frieza and stuff and kind of go from there. But that's going to do it for this one. Like and subscribe for more Dragon Ball Legends content, guys. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.